Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
And Sky 5 live over an incident right now, I-40 near Harrison Avenue in Cary. Right here, we see the Wake County Sheriff's Office is investigating. I'll come right back here in a moment and tell you what is happening at that scene.
Plus, we're following this story. 2 people dead and 4 injured. A crash has part of North Roxborough Street closed in Durham. What investigators are learning at this scene in front of you.
And it's a chilly start this morning. Our temperatures are in the 30s with a lot of cloud cover. I'll show you when we start to warm up.
And severe weather preparation. Students across the state will take cover this morning for practice. How tornado warnings this week have affected today's drill. A lot of stories to get to on this Friday here on March 7th. Thanks for joining us here. I'm Chris Lovingood. We want to go ahead and get started with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. She is out on the WRAL weather patio. No coat today. You just got, I guess, your suit coat you have on there today, but no puffy coat though, Elizabeth.
Oh, that's coming, Chris. It's a quick transition from up in the studio to down here. So I'll get to the coat in a few minutes. Definitely seeing some, at least jackets out here on the putting green here at in Pinehurst. Of course, this is Pinehurst Resort and Country Club, and the chilly temperatures are not stopping the golfers, that's for sure. 39 is our temperature in the Triangle. We do have a southwest wind at 6 miles per hour. That's what's going to gradually warm things up for us today. That wind increases as we head through the day. So we'll be gusting 15 to 20 as we get into the afternoon. That's breezy, but not as windy as yesterday. But because it's coming out of the southwest, it will warm things up for us. Right now, 36 in Roxborough, 38 in Rocky Mount, 37 down in Southern Pines where they're playing golf, 39 in Clinton. Temperatures as we head through the day, of course, will be on the cool side. The reason for that is the cloud cover. We're going to see anywhere from 50 to about almost 90% of the sky covered in clouds for today. So a lot more cloud cover than yesterday. That holds our temperature down to around 60 for our high later on today. But we do have 70s in the forecast for tomorrow. I'll show you why it won't last all weekend.
Well, Elizabeth, happening now, breaking news on I-40 eastbound. You can see the huge delays it's causing because of a crash between Cary Harrison exit and Aviation Parkway. This happened in the last hour and a half or so. We got the Wake County Sheriff's Office there on the scene in terms of how to get around this mess that's stretching all the way back to I-440 as we widen out the view. There you see the huge delays it's causing there in those eastbound lanes. And of course, what we're seeing in those westbound lanes are probably onlooker delay, but I would recommend I-540 as an alternate route to avoid what's happening there on I-40 eastbound. The other big story we're following, deadly crash on North Roxborough Street, shutting down that street from Gear Street to Trinity Avenue this morning. And that's where we find WRAL's Eric Miller there on the scene. And Eric, you've been there since we've been on the air at 4:30 this morning. Now we're on Fox 50. What can you tell us?
Ken, just within the last 30 minutes, we've gotten a better look at the one vehicle involved in this devastating crash. You take a look behind me here, you can see forensics teams have been taking a closer look. They've rolled this red Chevy that was up on its side. It's now down on its wheels, but you see the damage from this crash so severe, it's hard to even tell what you're looking at, what part of the vehicle it is that is crumpled there on your screen. You take a look at some of the video from earlier, you get a sense of how this investigation has played out over the last 5 hours plus. This crash happening just after 2 this morning. That's when Durham police say they got the call. A single vehicle. We're still working to learn what exactly happened, what caused this crash, whether it was speed, whether it was racing, whether it was something else. But we do know that 2 people who were inside that vehicle died here at that scene. 4 others were taken to the hospital, including 1 person who we're told has life-threatening injuries. At this point, we're also still working to learn the names of those involved. We'll bring in those details as soon as we can. Now, we do have a wrecker here on scene that is preparing to tow this car away, but for the time being, these 2 blocks here along North Roxborough Street, they are still shut down. Ken, I know you're tracking the best ways for people to get around these closures here this morning.
Yeah, Eric, that's such a heavily traveled area. North Roxborough Street is what I'm talking about. And if you're on the east side of North Roxborough Street, North Austin Avenue is really your best bet. If you're on the west side, North Mangum Street is your best bet in terms of avoiding what's happening there on North Roxborough Street. We also just just got reports of a crash on I-40 westbound near Gorman Street. Right now, we're not picking up any delays in that area, but I'll keep an eye on it to see if that's going to affect your morning commute moving forward. But elsewhere, all our other major routes are relatively delay-free at this hour. I want to get back to that situation on I-40 eastbound that we've been showing you this morning. Jeff Hogan is in the WRAL Live Center with a view from Sky 5 and what it looks like right now.
Yeah, Ken, thanks for that. And this entire investigation here by the Wake County Sheriff's Office centers on this vehicle that we're seeing right here by Sky 5. You see the police tape around it, and we saw the deputies blocking off traffic a little earlier, and we saw a canine out there as well. So not a crash in particular, because we see police tape. This is a crime scene that's being investigated right now, and I'm going to take you down ground level right now. I can show you that service vehicle. That's the truck that's off to the side of the road from our view. And look at the window right there on the passenger side. It appears that it's shot out. It is broken glass for certain. We can tell that from that look right there. But part of the investigation with the crime scene tape around that, we're continuing to ask questions of the Wake County Sheriff's Office about what type of incident with a canine out in the street, in the freeway on I-40 as this investigation continues.
Yeah, a lot of questions we have for that case. Thank you, Jeff. Wake County deputies captured a driver accused of causing a crash and then trying to run away. This crash happened around 8 o'clock last night on US 70 Business near Guy Road in the Garner area. Deputies say the driver was impaired and rear-ended another vehicle. The driver was not wearing a seatbelt and was badly injured, but still tried to get away. We're working to learn more about any charges that driver may face, and the other driver has minor injuries. Starting tonight, part of Airport Boulevard at I-40 is closing for about 3 days. That's to prepare for the opening of a new diverging diamond interchange. Work starts tonight at 10, and the road should reopen Monday morning. So if you haven't seen one before, this is what a diverging diamond kind of looks like, right? This is the one that's on Jones Sausage Road. Maybe you've driven through it, or the one on Western Boulevard. Traffic briefly shifts to the other side of the road in that case. Today, students across the state put a safety plan, or I should say they should be putting a safety plan into action. They'll practice what to do during a tornado warning. And WRAL's Kelsey Coffey explains the drill comes just 2 days after we had actual tornado warnings.
This morning, schools statewide will be preparing for this tornado drill that's set to start very soon. And Aversboro Elementary is just one of the schools that will be participating in this. This drill comes after there were 2 tornado warnings in our viewing area Wednesday. Sky 5 flew over some of the damage after the severe weather hit Wilson. You can see trees that fell on homes as a result of strong winds. Today's tornado drill is a part of Severe Weather Preparedness Week. The National Weather Service and the State Department of Public Safety are teaming up to help keep North Carolinians safe. That tornado drill is scheduled for this morning at 9:30. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Garner.
President Trump is drafting an executive order to abolish the Department of Education. North Carolina public schools receive about $1.5 billion in federal funding each year. State Superintendent Mo Green says cutting the department could mean moving programs to other agencies or getting rid of some programs and funding. He said cutting funding would get rid of a critical resource for the state schools.
That would have a dramatic impact on students and families, on educators.
I sorted through the potential impact on North Carolina schools and students. You can find that by searching DOE on WRAL.com. A new effort to require safe gun ownership is named after 8-year-old Genesis Dockery, and she was killed when another child shot her with a gun that had been lost. Well, now state lawmakers are filing new legislation to enhance public safety by tracking lost or stolen guns. Genesis died in July of 2023, and her father, Fawn Dockery, has turned his pain into purpose. He has worked with lawmakers on the Genesis Firearm Accountability Act. Essentially, this would require firearm owners to report lost or stolen weapons within 48 hours of discovering that the weapon is missing. Senator Val Applewhite is one of the bill's sponsors.
From what I am hearing from law enforcement, a lot of the weapons that are found on the streets in criminal activity are weapons that have been stolen.
Now that it has been filed, the bill needs to go through committees, and Applewhite says she hopes that it's a smooth process because she believes this bill will save lives. 3 teams from the Triangle will play today in the quarterfinals of the ACC Women's College Basketball Tournament that's happening in Greensboro. 5 seed UNC advanced to the quarterfinals with a 83-71 win yesterday over Boston College. The Tar Heels will play the 4th seed, Florida State, at 11 this morning. And then after that, at 1:30, the top seeded NC State will play against the 9 seed Georgia Tech. The only game without a local team is at 5 when 2nd seed Notre Dame plays Cal. Then at 7:30 tonight, Duke will play Louisville. Your time is 8:09. Accreditation denied. What's next for St. Augustine's University and their students graduating in 2 months? Plus, aviation anxiety. Fear of flying, it's top of mind for a lot of people, especially because of recent plane emergencies. We'll talk about the steps for the people who are a bit worried taking to the skies.
Back here in the Live Center, Wake County Sheriff's Office continues to investigate on the side of I-40 eastbound right near North Harrison Avenue in Cary. There's a truck there surrounded by police tape, as you see here from the Sky 5. This is a live picture right now that we are seeing as traffic is moving by. Not too long ago, it was completely backed up, blocked off all 4 lanes. Now, 3 of the 4 lanes have been opened. But as you look at that truck from Sky 5, I'm going to take you down to the ground and look at this view from the ground and look at the passenger side window there. Something shattered that window. We are trying to get confirmation on what happened in this incident from the Wake County Sheriff's Office right now. Traffic moving, Ken, but this is really slow and backed up for miles still.
Oh, absolutely. Photographer Michael Jordan giving us that really close-up shot of that utility vehicle that appears the windows were shut out. So initially, this came in as a vehicle fire, then it changed to a crash, and now we know, as just showed us, it is a crime scene. And you can see the huge backup it's causing there on I-40 in those eastbound lanes. As we look at our live traffic map this morning, you can see really we're seeing it in both directions. I think what we're seeing in these westbound lanes are onlooker delays, but as we widen out the view and show you that the delays going all the way back to 540. So if you're coming from Durham or all points west and you need to get through the capital city, I would recommend using Highway 540 as an alternate route, and depending on where you are, just get off on Highway 70 or keep going. That'll definitely get you around what's happening there on I-40 eastbound. We're not even sure when that's going to be cleared up, but we're on the air. We'll keep you updated. And if we're not on the air, you can check it out online and WRAL News Plus. The other major story, North Roxborough Street shut down because of a deadly crash between Gear Street and Trinity Avenue. Here's a live look at the scene. This is a close-up look with the help of photographer Charles Bradley, showing you exactly the vehicle that was involved. We know at least 2 people died. 4 others were transported to the hospital. 1 with critical injuries. We're staying on top of that story. Eric Miller right now is there on that scene. We'll give you an update at the bottom of the hour right here on Fox 50. But getting back in terms of the other major routes from Wendell here in Wake County, even Chapel Hill, Durham, all those other major routes are delay-free. You're getting ready to head out the door because of these constantly changing traffic conditions. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
And grab the coat before you head out the door, too. It is chilly out here. Cloudy, too, which means it's just not going to feel very warm today. We'll climb up to around 60, but gray skies in Fayetteville and Raleigh, Apex and Chapel Hill. Chapel Hill's courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant, of course. We take a look at our next weather maker, which rolls in on Sunday. Ahead of that, it's a nice day Saturday, but we'll see some scattered showers on Sunday. The moisture is trending a little farther south, so it may be just our southern counties, but the models are differing. The long-range models, the American and the European that you hear us talk about, are in pretty good agreement, but some of the short-range models just starting to come in, have rain for us all day Sunday. This is a look at the big picture. High pressure will start to feed more warmth into our area, and then a cold front will come in and drop our temperatures for Sunday. On top of that, we'll end up with some showers. This is Sunday at 9 a.m. And again, looking at a lot of that rain ending up down to our south. This is a look at the forecast rainfall, and you can see very little in our northern counties and maybe a 1/10 of an inch down south. So overall, it doesn't look like we'll see a lot of rain unless those short-range models are onto something. If you have outdoor plans on Sunday, keep checking back. Saturday looks gorgeous, though. Partly cloudy skies. We'll see sunshine, 70s. And then Sunday, we put the yellow caution flag on that because of the clouds, the cool temperatures, and that chance of a shower. Drought status, that came out yesterday, and we did have some change in our viewing area. The orange area is severe drought. Our southern and eastern counties are under moderate drought and abnormally dry from the triangle area north and west. And that was a pretty big change in our severe drought. Last week across the state, it was 4%. This week it's 11%. That doesn't account for the rain that we saw on Wednesday because he stopped collecting data on Tuesday. Don't forget Saturday night to set those clocks ahead 1 hour, and that will feel like spring, and so will Wednesday. Did you see that? 80 degrees. I'll show you when we see our normal first 80-degree day coming up.
Hooray, less sleep, said no one ever. All right, thanks, Elizabeth. The appeal to fully reinstate St. Augustine's University's accreditation, it's been denied. The historically black university in Raleigh had a hearing last week, and the accrediting board announced that it is standing by its decision to revoke the membership from the accreditation. The reasons cited were financial instability and lack of oversight.
The rubber meets the road right now. Sachs is given their rule. So guess what? We have to come together and build our university back for the better.
The university wants to take this through arbitration, and during the 90-day process, St. Augustine's would still be accredited. And then the May graduates will leave with accredited degrees. The school also says that it has a financing deal to stay open. A SpaceX launch sent debris flying over parts of Florida and the Caribbean. You can see it right here on the screen. The company launched a Starship rocket from Texas, but it lost contact minutes into the test flight. Well, that caused the spacecraft to fall apart and come tumbling down. Debris from the incident prompted ground stops at 4 Florida airports. The FAA is requiring SpaceX to perform an investigation, and this situation happens nearly 2 months after a previous test flight exploded over the Turks and Caicos. Some travelers have been reporting anxieties about taking to the skies, and the reason? Recent deadly aircraft incidents. Shanley Painter takes a closer look at some ways to help ease the nerves.
In the wake of several recent deadly aircraft tragedies, including the plane and military helicopter collision over the Potomac River, a medical transport jet crash in Philadelphia, and a commuter plane that went down in Alaska, some travelers are feeling apprehensive about taking to the skies.
Someone was afraid before and they already had some anxiety relative to flying. This might amplify that anxiety.
According to the Cleveland Clinic, more than 25 million adults in the U.S. are affected by a fear of flying. But while Dr. Muriel Reese says it's normal, not all fears are created equal.
Some people might have more anxiety on takeoffs or landings when they experience turbulence.
Dr. Reese says anxiety is a response to fear and can present in different ways.
Racing heart, difficulty breathing, sweaty palms, things of that nature. It can also be cognitive.
Educating yourself on the science behind flying can help provide reassurance if you start to panic.
When we think of anxiety, I want to hide and protect, where I want to be curious instead. Why do we experience turbulence? What is that like when we take off or land?
Identifying your triggers can also help you establish coping mechanisms if you encounter those situations.
Is it I need to practice modifying my thoughts when I'm experiencing turbulence?
That's Shanley Painter reporting. A park ranger in North Carolina fired as part of the Trump administration's cuts is expressing her frustration. Shaylin Yost Haynes was weeks away from the end of a 1-year probationary period. She was working at the Carl Sandburg Home National Historic Site, and last week, a federal judge ordered the Office of Personnel Management to rescind an earlier memo directing mass firings of federal workers. The judge called those directives illegal. However, that ruling does not reinstate dismissed employees like Yost Haynes.
It was anger, it was sadness, it was disappointment, it was for sure depression. Yes, we are a free park, but those parks bring in millions of dollars worth of revenue into those local communities.
The Trump administration argues OPM didn't order mass firings and instead just asked agencies to review probationary staff.
And getting some brand new information by the minute here into the WRAL Live Center. I want to take you back out to this scene. Wake County Sheriff's Office is investigating a shooting right here on I-40 eastbound in Cary, right near the North Harrison Avenue exit. Now, you see this white truck that's involved here. We were listening to some Broadcastify reports, and Broadcastify identifies a white truck that hit a guardrail. I want to take you down on the ground right now and show you the passenger side of that truck. That's how the call came in. A white truck that hit a guardrail. It was later identified as a truck with bullet holes that was involved in a shooting. So you see the window. The glass is missing from that window. This is a vehicle that was involved in a shooting, and we're going to continue to investigate exactly what happened there as Wake County Sheriff's Office stays on that scene. Crime scene tape is up. Traffic is moving by on 3 of those lanes. But we'll continue to update you with more details as we get them in the Live Center.
All right, thank you, Jeff. The NHL's trade deadline is at 3 o'clock this afternoon. In the Carolina Hurricanes roster, it may see a shakeup. Last night at Lenovo Center, the Canes had the fans on the edge of their seats into the final seconds. Tied at 2 with less than 20 seconds to go, Seth Jarvis stole the puck and put it behind the Boston Bruins goaltender. The Canes got the win 3-2 in a game that was broadcast over on WRAL. And then after the game, we talked with Canes fans about the exciting finish to the game.
Jarvis is unbelievable. That was an unbelievable play.
They always have the ability to come back, even from, if they didn't start out so well.
This was the 100th consecutive sellout crowd for a Canes game at Lenovo Center. The streak dates back to February 2023. Tonight, women's professional hockey takes center ice at Lenovo Center. The Ottawa Charge and Minnesota Frost of the PWHL will play at Raleigh tonight, and it's part of the league takeover tour. The PWHL is in its second season. The Frost are league's defending champions there, and the game gets started at 7 o'clock tonight with tickets available. You can start buying them at $34 on Ticketmaster. International soccer is coming back to Chapel Hill. Mexico will take on Turkey at Kenan Stadium this summer. People are expected to travel from all over the country just to see this game. And between the teams and the fans, the town of Chapel Hill expects the Mexico-Turkey game to bring in about $7 million, give or take. The match is on June 10th, so go ahead and mark your calendars. Tickets go on sale next Monday at 10 a.m. Your time is 8:23. Bragg is back. Today, a renaming ceremony will be held at Fort Bragg. How this coincides with other name revisions at military installations across the country. And we're still watching that breaking news right now on the deadly crash in Durham. We'll take you back out to that scene to show you a little bit more about what's happening this very moment.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.
Wake County Sheriff's Office is investigating a shooting incident right on the side of I-40 eastbound in Cary. This is right near the North Harrison Road exit. And I'll take you down to the ground. This is live Sky 5 right now. And we're following some Broadcast 5 reports to talk about a shooting and potentially with another vehicle. So you see the truck here that is on the side of the road there into the guardrail. That's how the call came in. And there the window is presumably shot out. It is missing glass right there, and Broadcastify refers to looking for a suspect vehicle in this case. We have calls to Raleigh Watch Commander as well as Wake County Sheriff's Office right now to get more details.
Photographer Michael Jordan giving us that close-up shot of that shot-out window there on that utility vehicle. Here you see the huge backup this is causing there on I-40 eastbound all the way back to I-540. To give you a live look at a live traffic map this morning, you can see it right here. If you're coming east listening to us on 101.5 HD3, get off on I-540 eastbound, and depending on where you're headed, go to Highway 70 as an alternate route because this is not going to be any breaking up anytime soon. Really quickly, the other major story we're following, we'll have an update on this deadly crash that shut down North Roxborough Street coming up as you take a look at that live picture right now.
It's a chilly start out here. Gray skies. We take a look here at Fenton and Cary. Town by town temperatures are in the 30s and will be slow to warm up with the cloud cover that we're seeing. Fayetteville's at 37 in Cary, 38 in Garner. This afternoon we'll warm up to around 60 degrees. If you're walking the dog after work, we're back to the mid-50s.
All right, thank you, Elizabeth. Next on Fox 50, how schools are preparing to stay safe in extreme weather. We're also going to take you right back out to that situation unfolding on I-40 at Aviation Parkway. We have a team above the air and on the ground trying to get you answers at this very moment.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Wake County Sheriff's Office continues to investigate a shooting incident right along the side of I-40 eastbound in Cary. A vehicle on the side of the road there, missing glass in the passenger side window there, and Broadcastify reporting a search for a suspect vehicle going on right now.
Well, as we're following this story, 2 dead in a crash with 4 others taken to the hospital. We're going to bring you the latest from the North Roxborough Street where this has happened, and investigators have shut that road down for hours.
And it's a winter feel outside this morning with temperatures in the 30s under gray skies, but I'll show you when it will start to feel more like summer coming up.
Plus, road closure today. Airport Boulevard will be closed at I-40 over the weekend. We'll talk about the new interchange that's being finalized and recognizing a renaming. Fort Bragg will have a ceremony today, and the military location is receiving name reversions from defense leadership. A lot of stories to get to this morning on WRAL News on Fox 50. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chris Lovingood. I'll hand it over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner because she's getting you started on your Friday forecast.
It is chilly out here. I'll tell you what, feels like winter. And of course, behind me is the gardens. It is cloudy out here right now, and that tends to make a big difference in the way things feel. It's 39 degrees currently. We have a southwest wind at 6 miles per hour, but it's going to take a while for that southwesterly wind to be able to push enough warmth in for it to feel more comfortable outside. We do see the wind picking up this afternoon, though, gusting 15 to 20. We've had a couple of really windy days. This is a notch down from how windy it was yesterday, and it'll still feel breezy and cool. And our temperatures heading out right now are in the mid to upper 30s, 39 Durham, 37 in Southern Pine, just 38 in Rocky Mountain. And it has creeped up to 40 degrees in Clinton. We take a look at our cloud cover forecast. We're completely covered in clouds right now, but we will see that fluctuate through the day, anywhere from 50 to about 90% of the sky covered with clouds today, which is definitely cloudier than yesterday. Our high temperature right around 60 degrees, but that southwesterly wind will deliver more warmth tomorrow as we climb into the 70s, but I'll show you why that doesn't last through Sunday coming up.
Happening now, huge delays on I-40 eastbound. You see it right here between Cary Harrison and Aviation Parkway as a result of what is being reported as a shooting investigation there near Aviation Parkway and between Cary Harrison Avenue. You can see the huge backups it's causing right now all the way back to I-540. We take a look at a live traffic sensor this morning, traffic map. You can see the backup all the way back to I-540. And what we're seeing in those westbound lanes are probably just onlooker delays, but you coming east on I-40, maybe listening to us on 99.3 FM or even 101.5 HD3, take I-540 as an alternate route, and depending on where you're headed, get off on Highway 70 as an alternate route to avoid what's happening there on I-40 eastbound. The other big story we're following right now, this huge delay in terms of what's happening on North Roxborough Street, this deadly crash shutting down that area right now between Gear Street and Trinity Avenue, and that's where we find WRAL's Eric Mill. He's been on the scene all morning long. At this point, what can you tell us, Eric?
Again, a big change from just the last time we spoke with you about 30 minutes ago. You can see most of this scene is cleared up, and Durham police are now working to reopen North Roxborough Street above Gear Street. We can take a look here on the ground, here on the road. You can see one side of this crash that isn't going away anytime soon. These skid marks that veer from one side of the road to the other and then end up against a tree. It's had part of its bark blown off where this one car involved in this crash came to rest. You take a look at this video from earlier this morning, you get a sense of the investigation that played out here hour after hour, starting just after 2 a.m. when Durham police got the call about this crash. They say 2 people died here at this scene. 4 others had to be rushed to the hospital, including someone with life-threatening injuries. We're still working to learn more about the condition of those 4 people this morning, as well as their identities. We're also working to learn more about the investigation. What exactly might have caused this crash? We'll bring you those details as soon as we can. In Durham, Eric Miller, WRAL News.
And the thing is, Eric, that's such a heavily traveled area. You want to let people know if they're just waking up, maybe North Alston Avenue, if you're on the east side of Roxborough Street, is your best bet. If you're on the west side, North Mangum Street is your best alternate route to avoid that area. But like Eric just mentioned, it's beginning to open right now. I want to get back to that situation in I-40 eastbound. You see the huge delays it's causing. Jeff Hogan is in the live center right now with an aerial view of what's happening there with Sky 5. Jeff.
Yeah, we are. We're looking at Sky 5 here and pushing in to this scene that is blocked off in crime scene tape. This came in as a call about a vehicle into a guardrail. And we found out very quickly after that there's so much more to this because Wake County Sheriff's Office is investigating this as a shooting incident now. As you see the crime scene tape up there, this would not be a normal accident scene off the side of the freeway there. There was a canine out there on the freeway a little bit earlier, as well as traffic completely blocked. It is now being let through. And what we're noticing right now, this window of this vehicle, as I take it down to ground level right now, this is a live look here. The glass is missing right there. And listening to Broadcastify reports coming in, there is potentially a weapon in that vehicle, from what we understand from these reports. Call about a shooting involving this vehicle here. They are looking for a suspect vehicle as well. So it makes one wonder if this was a shooting that was happening on the highway at the time between 2 vehicles there. We are asking those exact questions to Wake County Sheriff's Office as well as Raleigh Police as this investigation continues.
Very necessary questions to ask. Thank you, Jeff. We're also following breaking news in Garner as police say a 70-year-old man ran off the road and struck a tree. This video is from the WRAL breaking news tracker, and it shows the damage to that man's truck on top of that tow bed there. The man was taken to the hospital, but he is expected to be okay. We're also working to learn more about a crash that happened on Pool Road in Raleigh. This happened just after midnight near I-440. And this video right here shows just how badly damaged this car was. Officers on scene tell us that the crash only involved one vehicle there, and they say they believe the car actually was speeding. Police have not said if anyone was injured, though. Starting tonight, part of Airport Boulevard at I-40 is closing. For 3 days, we're talking about. It's to prepare for the opening of a new diverging diamond interchange. Work starts tonight at 10 p.m., just so you know. The road should reopen Monday morning. Now, this right here on your screen is what a diverging diamond actually looks like. We'll have that in just a moment. There we go. You can see that. And this is the one that's on Jones Sausage Road. Maybe you've actually driven through it, or maybe even the one on Western Boulevard. Traffic briefly shifts to the other side of the road. Today, students across the state will, of course, put a safety plan into action as they practice what to do during a tornado warning. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey explains the drill is happening just 2 days after we had actual warnings.
This morning, schools statewide will be preparing for this tornado drill that's set to start very soon. And Aversboro Elementary is just one of the schools that will be participating in this. This drill comes after there were 2 tornado warnings in our viewing area Wednesday. Sky 5 flew over some of the damage after the severe weather hit Wilson. You can see trees that fell on homes as a result of strong winds. Today's tornado drill is a part of Severe Weather Preparedness Week. The National Weather Service and the State Department of Public Safety are teaming up to help keep North Carolinians safe. That tornado drill is scheduled for this morning at 9:30. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Garner.
Fort Bragg will officially recognize its name change today. The 18th Airborne Corps will host a ceremony at 11 o'clock this morning to mark Fort Liberty's transition back to Fort Bragg. This time, Fort Bragg will be named in honor of Private First Class Roland Bragg. He rescued fellow paratroopers during World War II. The ceremony will include the unveiling of a new sign and uncasing of the colors. Earlier this week, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth announced that he is reviving the old name of a second military base, Fort Moore in Georgia. It will again be called Fort Benning. The Trump administration must pay debts owed to USAID's partners by Monday. A federal judge issued that ruling. At least 9 nonprofit groups and aid organizations filed the lawsuit against the administration. About $2 billion is owed to USAID partners after the administration's order of a freeze on foreign assistance. State lawmakers are 1 vote away from finalizing a $500 million Helene relief package. That's expected to take place next Tuesday. State lawmakers got an update from Governor Stein's Helene recovery team yesterday. Jonathan Krebs and Stephanie Magera with GrowNC said federal money will take several months to arrive in a best case scenario. They say state money is needed to get the rebuilding process started as soon as possible. Also happening today, Governor Josh Stein will be in Charlotte to highlight the positive impacts of Medicaid expansion in our state. He'll hold a roundtable discussion with North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services Secretary Dr. Dev Sangvi, and that's happening at 1 o'clock this afternoon. A person in New Mexico has died from the measles. The state health department says the adult who was unvaccinated tested positive for the virus. This is the second person to die from the virus recently. A child died previously, also unvaccinated. Measles is spreading rapidly in West Texas, with 159 cases being reported this week. 10 cases have been reported in neighboring New Mexico. Your time is 8:39. Bombing civilians. New video from South Korea shows the area is devastated by accidental bomb drops. We'll give you a closer look at the aftermath just miles from the North Korean border. Plus, dangers of AI relationships. Some people are forming emotional ties to companion chatbots. The privacy risks these apps could be posing. Plus, we're waking up to a cold morning, folks, as we're getting a live look over Fenton. But coming up, meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tells us that things will warm up at some point in a couple of days.
And back here with that breaking news in the WRAL Live Center, as we see right now, Sky 5 is over this Wake County Sheriff's Office investigation of a shooting alongside I-40. And this is a live look right now of that vehicle into a guardrail, which is how that call initially came in. I want to take you down to the ground level view, the window shot out of that. Right now, we're putting together some video that we got in from an eyewitness to what happened here on the highway. I'm going to get that together here, and I'm going to bring it back to you so that you can see exactly what happened as the shooting between two vehicles on the highway took place early this morning.
Great vantage point from photographer Michael Joyner of that utility truck and the windows shut out. But this is what it looks like, courtesy of a live cam network. You see the huge delays it's causing between Cary Harrison and Aviation Parkway. And this, not sure when this is going to get cleared up. So with that in mind, you're coming east this morning. I've widened out the view so you can really see what your alternate route is. And it will be I-540. And depending on where you're headed, just take Highway 70 and come into the capital city. That's your best bet to avoid what's happening there. We also just got reports of a crash on I-40 that just cleared in the last 30 seconds or so. So we're not seeing any delays in that particular area. So, but all the major routes this morning from Wendell and 64, Wake Forest, US 1, that's usually a trouble spot this time of the morning. Over in Durham, 70, 85, 885, all free and clear this morning. You're getting ready to head out the door. Always know that you can take us with you on the radio. Tune us in on 101.5 HD3. Elizabeth?
Again, it's a chilly start out here this morning. We are going to see breezy conditions, but it won't be as windy as it was yesterday. Our gusts will be around 15 to 20 miles per hour. We do start to see some warmer air that gradually works its way in. Our flow is coming out of the southwest. You wouldn't know it standing out here. But then our next rain chance comes on Sunday. So beautiful day Saturday, and then cooler, cloudier with some rain on Sunday. This is a look at the WRAL Gardens right here behind me. 39 is our temperature. We'll climb on up into the low 50s at lunchtime, but it's really going to be a pretty cloudy day for us today, and it's chilly right now. 37 Southern Pines and Fayetteville. We did climb to 40 in Clinton and Goldsboro, 38 in South Hill, and 37 up in Roxborough. Current temperatures around the Triangle. Holly Springs at 37, Garner's at 38, Cary's at 38 right now. And we take a look at our wind speeds. Not too strong yet. We're still looking at light winds, calm up to 5 to 7 miles per hour. But later today, we'll see gusts 15 to 20. Yesterday, we were gusting more like 25 to 30. I love this reported photo from Jessica Hill. This is really cool. Big band of clouds just starting to move over across that gorgeous blue sky. That was from Wayne County yesterday. If you have a photo you'd like to share with us, go to WRAL.com/report it. Around town today, near 60 in Raleigh and Durham, 62 in Fayetteville, but mostly cloudy. We jump all the way to 73 for tomorrow. But a front comes through late Saturday with colder temperatures for Sunday and Monday, and then we're back into the 70s on Tuesday. Don't forget Saturday night, we move the clocks ahead 1 hour. It gives us extra daylight in the evening, going forward, starting on Sunday. It's a good time to remember to change your smoke detector batteries. By Wednesday, we're looking at a high of 80 degrees. Our first 80-degree day last year was March 14th, but the average isn't until May the 17th. That's when we normally see our first 80-degree day. Definitely cool for a Sunday, a chance of some showers Monday, but that sunshine and 80 sounds really nice right about now.
It sure does. Goodness. All right. Thank you, Elizabeth. A man and his mother are facing charges in connection with the Wake County Amber Alert involving his 3-year-old. 29-year-old Zachary Upton and 54-year-old Christina Jones are accused of taking the girl from a home on Benson Road. That's in Garner, and it happened around 8:45 Wednesday night. The toddler was found safe hours later, and then the Amber Alert was canceled. Upton is accused of breaking a glass door to enter the home and then assaulting a former girlfriend. 15 people are hurt and 2 are seriously injured after fighter jets mistakenly dropped bombs in South Korea. Let's show you this video. This is the moment one of the bombs fell. You see that right there? The destruction? 8 bombs in total were dropped about 20 miles from the North Korean border. They were supposed to hit a training range. South Korean officials say one of the pilots entered the wrong coordinates, but it's not clear why a second pilot also dropped their bombs. This was part of a joint training exercise with the United States military, but to be very clear, no American aircraft were involved. Another dust storm impacted parts of New Mexico and Texas. Look at this. Hardly can see in some places. According to the New Mexico Department of Transportation, parts of Interstate 10 were closed yesterday because of low to zero visibility. Drivers were told to be ready to pull to the side of the road, and the dust storm prompted several flight delays or cancellations at El Paso International Airport in Texas. Now we want to get to that growing popularity of companion apps. People are sharing their deepest, darkest secrets with AI tools, and privacy advocates are warning against doing this. The AI companions are designed to seem like real people with distinct personalities. They even give individualized responses, encouraging millions of users to share their most intimate thoughts, and some even encourage their users to fall in love. Jen Kaltrider, who works with Mozilla, studied 11 so-called relationship chatbots. Using data trackers, she found that many of the apps are sending users data around the world, including to sites affiliated with Russia and China.
We saw apps go from having tens of thousands of downloads to millions of downloads in just a few months. But if you kind of try and suss out, well, who's the company behind this? Who are the people behind that? You know, they were kind of hidden.
Many of these kinds of apps ask users to self-report issues and do not monitor conversations. Privacy advocates are asking users to keep that in mind when engaging with chatbots. Well, it turns out King Charles is sharing his music taste with the world through a playlist. The King partnered with Apple Music to create this playlist called The King's Music Room. It features artists from the 1930s, the crooners, to Bob Marley and Kylie Minogue. And the playlist will air on Monday, that's the country's Commonwealth Day, to show the King's admiration for music's ability to bring people together. A pair of Tony Hawk video games are getting remade for a new generation. From Pro Skater to Jurassic Park, Pinball, we've got Rick Damigella with today's gaming news.
Get ready to grind again. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4 is a remake of the popular skating games, featuring new and classic elements, along with a tutorial by Tony Hawk. Gamers can drop in on Nintendo Switch, PC, PlayStation, and Xbox on July 11th. War never changes, but Fallout 76 does. Bethesda has revealed a preview of Season 20 of the post-apocalyptic online adventure game. Glow of the Ghoul marks the first time players can play as the mutated ghoul character and will feature numerous glowing in-game items to collect. The new season of ghoulish gameplay gets underway March 18th. Music finds a way. Zen Studios announces the addition of music from the original Jurassic Park movie has been added to Pinball FX, Jurassic Park Pinball, and Jurassic Park Pinball Mayhem. The games are playable on PC, PlayStation, Nintendo, and Xbox consoles. Leveling up in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
I'm down for a little video game talk on a Friday. Actor Steve Carell surprised hundreds of students who have been impacted by the Los Angeles area wildfires. The comedian recorded a video shown at 6 high school auditoriums throughout Altadena this week. He let seniors know that he is covering the cost of their prom tickets. It's all thanks to a charity that Carell works with called Alice's Kids. The Virginia-based organization, which provides financial assistance to children in need nationwide, said it will pay for the prom tickets for about 800 seniors. Alice's Kids said that it's donating about $175,000 total for the prom costs. A musical, an underground market, and a kid-sized career showcase. It's all coming up this weekend in the Triangle. Let's start with a Tony Award-winning musical showing in Durham. Shucked is playing this weekend at the DPAC. The musical comedy is about a woman looking for answers about a corn blight in her small town. There are shows tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday, and tickets are still available if you want to go. And the Raleigh Underground Market is happening this Sunday. The monthly event and concert series is happening at Midtown Park, and there will be more than 45 local vendors, food trucks, beer and wine, and, of course, some good old-fashioned music. Marlboro's Kids Museum will host the Future Me Fair tomorrow. From 1 to 4 p.m., kids can meet representatives from a variety of businesses. That includes the Carolina Ballet, Carolina Hurricanes, Burt's Bees, the North Carolina Courage, the Raleigh Police Department, and Wake Tech. This event is included with your museum admission. And for more on this event and others, you can head to WRAL.com and search the word Out and About. We are, of course, keeping our eye on that situation on I-40 and Aviation Parkway. On your left right here is our team on the ground showing you this service van that seems to be the subject of an investigation. And on the right, Sky 5 is above this, again, at I-40 and Aviation Parkway. So here's what's going to happen. In the next couple minutes, we're going to come back here to tell you a little bit more about this, including what we know from investigators so far, as we are calling right now to figure out what appears to be this truck had a window shot out. We'll leave you with a look at the winning lottery numbers before we go to break.